Man United team news. Will SESKO start? Onana back? Everything you need to know before Fulham. Welcome back to United News, your most reliable source for all the latest Manchester United updates. As we gear up for Sunday's crucial Premier League clash against Fulham at Craven Cottage, we've got all the team news, injury updates, and predicted lineups you need. After that frustrating 1-0 defeat to Arsenal in the season opener, Ruben Amorim is looking to make some big decisions. Will Benjamin Sesko get his first start? Is Andre Onana ready to return? And what about those players who missed out against Arsenal? Let's dive into everything you need to know. The big question, will Sesko start? This is the question every United fan is asking right now. Benjamin Sesko made his debut as a substitute against Arsenal, coming on for the final 25 minutes and showing glimpses of what he can offer. The Slovenian striker ought to be considered for a full debut after his 25-minute cameo in Match Week 1. Benjamin Sesko, who made his debut as a substitute last week, could be in line for his first start and will likely replace Mason Mount in the lineup. All signs point to Sesko being given his chance from the start. Against Arsenal, SESKO Cunha played as the central striker with Mason Mount on the left side of the attacking three. But Amorim might be ready to unleash his new signing from the beginning this time. Why would Amorim start Sesko? Simple. United need more presence up front. While Cunha worked hard against Arsenal, Sesko brings something different: height, physicality, and proven goal-scoring ability from his time in Germany. The 21-year-old Slovenian international has been training well with his new teammates and looked sharp in his brief appearance last weekend. Don't be surprised if he leads the line at Craven Cottage. Onana's return, the goalkeeper situation. One of the biggest talking points from the Arsenal defeat was Andre Onana being left out of the squad entirely. Altay Bayındır started instead and made a crucial mistake that led to Arsenal's winning goal. Andre Onana will once again be tested before Sunday's outing after being without the Cameroon international for Arsenal's visit. However, most predictions suggest Onana will return to the starting lineup. Multiple sources predict Onana will start in goal against Fulham, which makes complete sense. Despite his inconsistencies last season, Onana remains United's #1 goalkeeper. Amorim explained that Onana had only trained 3 times before the Arsenal game due to a pre-season injury. With a full week of training under his belt, the Cameroonian should be ready to reclaim his spot. For United fans, this will be a relief. Bayındır's mistake against Arsenal showed exactly why Onana needs to be back between the posts as soon as possible. The Højlund mystery. Another player who was completely absent from the Arsenal squad was Rasmus Højlund. The Danish striker didn't even make the bench, which has led to speculation about his future at the club. Reports suggest that United might be open to selling Højlund, with interest from clubs in Germany and Italy. This would explain why he was left out entirely rather than being included as a substitute. If this is true, it represents a dramatic fall from grace for a player who was signed for significant money just over a year ago. But football moves quickly, and if Amorim doesn't see Højlund fitting into his system, the club might cut their losses. For the Fulham game, don't expect to see Højlund in the squad. His United career might already be over. Predicted formation and tactics. Based on the performance against Arsenal and the available players, Amorim is likely to stick with his preferred 3-4-3 formation. This system gave United good defensive stability against Arsenal while providing attacking threat through the wingbacks. The predicted lineup shows United lining up in a 3-4-3 formation with Onana in goal, a back three of Euro, De Ligt, and Shaw, wingbacks AMAD and Dorgu, and an attacking three of MBUEMO, Cunha, and Sesko. The back three of Lenny Yoro, Matthijs de Ligt, and Luke Shaw worked well against Arsenal. They kept Arsenal's dangerous attacking trio relatively quiet and looked solid throughout the game. In midfield, Bruno Fernandes is certain to start, probably alongside either Casemiro or Manuel Ugarte. Amad Diallo and Manuel Ugarte may also start in place of Diogo Dalot and Casemiro. The wing-back dilemma. One area where Amorim might make changes is at wing-back. Patrick Dorgu started on the left against Arsenal and looked solid, so he's likely to keep his place. On the right, however, there could be a change. Diogo Dalot started against Arsenal, but was substituted for Amad Diallo, who made an immediate impact. This suggests AMAD might get the nod from the start this time. AMAD's pace and directness could be crucial against Fulham, especially if United need to break down a stubborn defense. His ability to beat players one-on-one makes him a constant threat. Injury concerns. The injury list remains a concern for United. Noussair Mazraoui is still dealing with a thigh injury and is unlikely to be available for the trip to London. Lisandro Martinez continues his recovery from an ACL injury. While there have been positive updates about his progress, he's still not ready for first-team action. These absences limit Amorim's options, particularly in defense where depth is already an issue. The good news is that the players who are available have been training well and look ready to step up. What changed after Arsenal? The Arsenal defeat, while disappointing, wasn't entirely negative. United created decent chances and showed they can compete with top teams in Amorim's system. The main issues were defensive mistakes, particularly Bayender's error for the goal, and a lack of clinical finishing. These are problems that can be fixed with better personnel choices and more time on the training ground. Amorim will have used the week between games to work on these issues. Expect to see a more polished performance against Fulham, especially if key players like Onana and SESKO are given starting roles. Fulham, the opposition. It's worth remembering that Fulham are no pushovers. They finished in mid-table last season and have some quality players who can hurt United if they're not careful. Fulham like to play attacking football and will try to exploit any spaces United leave behind their wingbacks. This is where having pace and defensive awareness in those positions becomes crucial. United will need to be at their best to get a result at Craven Cottage. This isn't a game where they can afford to be complacent. Key battles. There are several key battles that could determine the outcome of this match. In goal, Onana needs to show he's back to his best and ready to be United's reliable number one. Any mistakes could open up more questions about the goalkeeping position. Up front, if SESKO starts, he'll be looking to make an immediate impact in his first Premier League start. The pressure will be on him to justify his place in the team. In midfield, Bruno Fernandes will be key to United's creativity. He needs to find the right passes to unlock Fulham's defense and create chances for the attackers. What success looks like. For United, success in this game would be getting their first 3 points of the season while showing clear signs of progress in Amorim's system. If SESKO starts and scores, that would be a perfect scenario. It would give United a new attacking dimension and provide confidence for the young striker. A clean sheet would also be crucial, especially if Onana returns to the team. United need to show they can be defensively solid while still creating attacking chances. Fan expectations. United fans will be expecting a response after the Arsenal defeat. While the performance wasn't terrible, losing at home in the first game of the season is never ideal. The potential changes, SESKO starting, Onana returning, maybe AMAD getting a start, have created excitement among supporters. There's a feeling that these changes could unlock United's potential. But fans also know that Fulham away is never an easy game. Realistic expectations would be a hard-fought victory that shows United are moving in the right direction. Predicted starting 11. Based on all the available information and team news, here's how United are likely to line up. Formation: 3-4-3. Goalkeeper: Andre Onana, returns after missing the Arsenal game. Defense: Lenny Yoro, Matthijs de Ligt, Luke Shaw, the same back three that impressed against Arsenal. Wingbacks: Amad Diallo, right, Patrick Dorgu, left. Amad gets the nod after his impact as substitute. Midfield: Bruno Fernandes, Case Moreau. The captain anchors the midfield with experience alongside him. Attack: Brian Buemo, Benjamin Sesko. SESKO Cunha Sesko gets his first start with creative players either side of him. This lineup gives United pace, creativity, and physicality in all the right areas. It also represents clear progression from the Arsenal game while maintaining the defensive stability that worked well. Bench predictions. The bench is likely to include Altay Bayender, goalkeeper; Diogo Dalot, defender/wingback; Manuel Ugarte, midfielder; Mason Mount, attacking midfielder; Joshua Zirkzee, striker; Joshua Zirkzee returned to the matchday squad against Arsenal after missing large chunks of pre-season, so he should be available as an option from the bench. What Amorim has said. Amorim has been careful not to give too much away about his team selection, but his comments about players being ready suggest that key figures like Onana are set to return. The Portuguese manager will want to see improvement from the Arsenal performance, particularly in the final third where United created chances but couldn't convert them. His tactical approach is likely to remain similar, solid defensively but looking to create overloads in wide areas through the wingbacks. The broader context. This game represents more than just 3 points for United. It's about showing that they can bounce back from disappointment and that Amorim's methods are working. A good performance and result would give everyone at the club confidence going into the rest of the season. It would also show that the new signings are starting to gel with the existing squad. For individual players like SESKO and Onana, this could be a chance to make important statements about their roles in Amorim's plans. Final thoughts. Sunday's game at Fulham is a chance for United to show what they're really about this season. The team news suggests some exciting changes are coming, with SESKO potentially getting his first start and Onana returning to goal. These changes address the main issues from the Arsenal game: lack of presence up front and uncertainty in goal. If they work out, United could look like a completely different team. The predicted lineup has pace, creativity, and experience in all the right places. Most importantly, it gives United multiple ways to hurt Fulham while maintaining defensive solidity. Will it work? We'll find out on Sunday. But based on the available information and the logical decisions Amorim needs to make, United fans have every reason to be optimistic about seeing an improved performance. Match details. Kickoff. Sunday, 4:30 p.m. Venue, Craven Cottage, London. TV Sky Sports Main Event and Sky Sports Premier League. Make sure you're following United News for live updates, analysis, and reaction from the game. We'll be covering every angle of what promises to be a fascinating encounter. This is United's chance to get their season properly started. With the right team selection and performance, they can show that the Arsenal defeat was just a minor setback rather than a sign of things to come. The pieces are in place for a much better performance. Now it's up to the players to deliver on the pitch and give United fans something to smile about.